Alright, so I just woke up and I was looking at the video that we made yesterday and I realized that we forgot to put an introduction in. So, we're about to put lowering springs on Christian's Accord and we're going to show you how to do it. Here we go. First we got to loosen up these top nuts right here on the top of the strut. We're going to loosen up this bowl right here. We're enlisting the help of our friend Vance today. Say hey, Vance.
Hello.
We're going to use a 17 on both sides to loosen up the bottom bolt on the fork of the strut. Now we're loosening up the brake line bolts. Alright, so this is why we're changing out springs, because some genius decided to cut these springs before Christian bought it. But now Christian will be safe with these new springs. Now we're using an Allen wrench and a 14 to take the top of the strut off. And now we're going to compress the spring using these handy devices called a strut spring compressor. And you can rent these out at your local auto parts store. So now we got it. And that's just showing you what the spring looks like after it's been compressed and had the top of the strut put on. Now we're just going to start doing everything in reverse of what we took off, starting with the top of the strut. As long as we're not dropping stuff. Here's what our struts are going to look like after everything's all compressed. Nice and sexy. Alright, it's getting into the afternoon, so it's kind of hard to see, but Vance is over here putting everything back together for us. And then we're about to drop the car, put the tire back on first, of course, and then drop the car, and then we'll be good to go for the front. Alright, so everybody, my camera is dying, so I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what we're doing in the back. It's all basically the same thing. Loosen up the lower bolt, bolts in the top, press the spring, undo that, get your new spring on there and put it back on there. Hopefully the camera won't die and I can take more videos. Alright, so it is now about a week and a half later. And we are just now doing the backs, as you can see. The top of the strut was messed up, and I'll show you that here in just a second. But we had to wait to do these back springs because the top of the strut was messed up and the bolt wouldn't come out. But this is where we're at right now. I just got home from church, so Christian went ahead and started without me. But it's okay. Well, at least we're getting it done. And see, just like with the front ones, we're going to use an Allen key and a wrench to take the top of the strut off. And if there's a lot of compression, make sure you use the strut compressors also. Alright, so right now Christian is going to compress this spring to set it up for our new struts, which are right here. And like I said, we had to get new struts because the top of the bolt was messed up, and I'll show you that right now. This is the top of the bolt that was messed up. This piece right here that we had to put the Allen key in was messed up. Sorry if you hear any noise right now. Our neighbor has his truck on. Also, the way that we solved that problem was we used vice grips to get this off, and obviously we can't reuse that, so that's another reason for getting the new struts. So I just tightened that on there as tight as I could. I had to actually re-tighten it a few times, and then I just used our wrench here, and then boom. I finally just broke it loose, but I just wanted to show you while I still had it on how we solved this problem so that we could reuse this top piece here. Alright, so it's getting kind of late, but we actually ran into a problem here. There's something I wanted to show you. Here's the old one. It used to have a nut on there, and it was made into the old strut. I went ahead and cut it off because there isn't one on the new one. And then after that, we're just going to use a lock washer to keep it in place. When you do it though, make sure you wear your safety gloves and your safety glasses though, because there's going to be a lot of metal flying everywhere. And that's just in case you run into that problem. There you go. Alright everybody, just so that you know, alright, we're done right here putting our springs on our struts and everything. The top of the strut here, we're going to wait to tighten that all the way down until we get it on the car, because if it's all the way tightened up, we won't be able to turn this to adjust these bolts lining up right here with this fork matching up to make it be in the correct position. There's Christian working under the car. Let's just take a closer look at Christian here. How you doing, Christian?
Doing good. Yeah.
Any words of advice, Christian?
Try to do it early in the day.
Oh yeah, that's oh. All right. So this bottom bolt right here, and the very two at the top that are inside when you open up the door and you pop the trunk, those are the really the only bolts that you have to put on. The hardest part of putting the spring back in this part is getting it into this little slot right here. You have to get it past the heat shield, and it's kind of a pain in the butt. But yeah, now all we have to do is just tighten up the wheels and drop it down, and we're gonna be good to go.
Yeah!